Alright, what is going on everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So, it is that time every Saturday where we collect our Boss Blitz rewards. And I noticed that every week, the Essence of Dawn value has been essentially going down because, well, people are getting their knob accessories. So, at least here on the NA server, they kind of just sit at minimum. And I kind of wanted to basically take a look at how much you actually get. So for all of you not at the end game, or I guess not even doing these bosses, hopefully this can give you a general idea of how much silver you actually make. And yeah, so we've done this before. A lot of you guys liked it, so we're doing it again. And the highest I've ever made in one weekly for like everything was about 19.6 billion silver, and every week it just goes down. So here's what we did this week. We did all 5 hard modes, like 5 different ones, and then Calamity 8, 9, 10, Sangoon, and then we did Gumiho, which we did that on video. We learned that for the first time. Apparently I made rank 2, which is kind of insane, but okay. I didn't even think I did that well, but here, let's see. So, Gumiho 8. Oh, there's only 3 people that did it, and I made number 2. Okay, then. Yeah, like, I want to actually start learning 9 and 10, and, RNG. Anyway, with that said, how much silver can we get this week? And I think if you are a new player, well, not really new player, but not like end to end game player, at least what you should be doing is the Calamity 8 to 10, even if you don't do party bosses, just because these give you Essence of Dawn if you need them for your Karazods and everything. But overall, it's just fun to do, like solo bosses at least. All right, start off with an 8. Every week, these things, Tears of Illusion, are useless. Essence of Tayback, also useless. Endgame players do need sealed black magic crystals because we're all upgrading our stuff from Adania, Essence of Dawn, and Trace of Thunderbolt. Eventually, one day I'll get my Voltarian horse, and that'll be a fun day. But what we look for every week is Essence of Dawn, try to get a Trace of Thunderbolt, and a guaranteed gold bars and everything. So I believe the difference is like Calamity 8, you get 6 or 7 or like 6, and then Gumiho is probably 1 up, and then 9s give you like 9 or 10, and then Calamity 10 gives you like 14 or 15 based on your rankings. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Let's open the rest of them. Well, oh, we did 9, 9, 10. All right. Sometimes you can get Debos, not that they're going down in price every week, but it's still cool to do. Calamity 9. Yeah, so sealed black magic crystals are always going, well, at least right now they're very valuable because people need them. And then Calamity 10. Oh boy. We got 4 out of 5 traces, that's good. You know, one day, I hope that Pearl Abyss will do something about these, like, you know, the Bong Wang's tier and the Heite's one. I hope they allow you to combine it and maybe go one step further. You know how they go from like Jin to Han right now for endgame crystals? Maybe they'll come up with something further beyond for this one that will definitely help ease the pain for Adania endgame grind spots. But anyway, 45 of these. Let me go list these real quick before it gets even worse. 6,000. Oh, we got a twisted. Nice. 1 out of 3 done. All right, let's open the rest of these. Which one do we do first? Let's do Byung. 1 accessory, or 1 relevant accessory. This one is irrelevant. And then this one, Azadol. I've seen people use this in Siege, like one person who plays support. These are cool, actually, for people who actually need the fail stacks. I think this is a good one that's exclusive to Byung. And then everyone needs these, of course. Capris, always nice. Memfrags. The rest of this, all goodies. Oh, 2 debos. Very cool. Long Wang. These are always guaranteed, so that's why, like, even the gold bars, you get something at minimum. Always nice to get. Crit hit rate. Depending on your class, this could be good. For Dark Knight or Succession, Dark Knight in particular, you only need 1 out of 3 on your Reforges to get 100, assuming you're keeping your add-on uptime for crit rate plus 30 up 100%. That's good. And Uturi. Holy, 3 debos. That's actually good. All right, so let me put silver in here, and then to give you an idea of how much all this is, it's 3.5 bill just off of guaranteed gold bars, and then everything else you get along the side is good. We got a Pride Debo. Honestly, with the Dania spots all dropping Debo accessories, these are dropping at like the rapid pace, and the only one that's like moderate value are the earrings. But like, I guarantee you in a couple of months, these are going to be at an all-time low. We're going to talk about that in gear progression in the future. But the exciting part for this week is opening these Resplendents, because I need Edania crystals. Or not crystals, but the light stones. These are actually all worth a lot right now because people are melting them down. We got something that we cheered for something. Mind crystal. I think the mind crystal is something for PvP, if I remember correctly. I should probably hold on to that. If I think do I have one? Oh, I already have one. Okay, never mind. We're good. 21 resplendent lightstones of fire. What do we want? Strike crystal. Twisted, which is Edania species damage. We cheered. Let's do it. What did I cheer for? Oh, down attack? Yikes. An aerial. So basically, in case you guys have no idea what these are for, you can convert these to magical lightstone shards, and you will probably need them at endgame, because these are used for upgrading crystals. So all of these things, or you could just sell it, I guess. But I think for me, honestly, exchanging all of these is actually really good. And or even if you sell them, they're still a decent value. All right, so we made 570. We'll be using those. And if you don't know why they used, or like, let's say you're not at the end game yet and you're wondering, why is this good? So like, if you know what these are, the crystallized energy of end times, you need these magical stones, or the crystals, to upgrade your Hans and your artifacts. So like, for example, these things right here, I have amplified crystals or light stones, and you need that for that. You need them for Han upgrades, endgame stuff. I actually got my crystal earlier, which is really nice. So anyway, yeah, how much did we make? Let's talk about that. We're not even really going to calculate the light stones, but we'll just say we got like 30 of these, so that's an all-time high. And then all of this one, so 3.5 billion. This is probably another billion. And then 1.5, so like 5. 6.5 billion. All that. I would say roughly around 10 billion silver total if we were to count everything, but obviously endgame players like myself actually use them, like the sealed black magic crystals. And then other things you can do with these, for example, you know, all these tokens. We actually got our 20 for Bong Wang. Buy it. Get the shiny gold title. Very cool. But here's what I'd recommend. Before we wrap up this video, for all of you who aren't at the end game, I wanted to actually make this a little bit educational and what you could do with it. So if you do them on normal, you might not get as many debos, but you get these chilling fragment things, which you can exchange for debos. If you do them on hard mode, you get all these like tokens that you can exchange for, you know, whatever, like titles and everything. So that's cool. And let's talk about this before, just really quickly. All right, so you see these icons over here, the Blessing of the Morning. If you do Calamity 7 and up, you get the buffs, gives 1 AP, 1 DP, and or item drop rate. The green ones are the most important. Reds are AP, blues or moons are DP, and all that. So I think these are fun to learn, especially if you're going to go into Calamity 8 to 10 in the future. You want to know at least some of the mechanics. Later on, they introduce new stuff, but if you've never done any solo bosses before, I would recommend starting with the moon ones, because those are, I would say, the easiest ones to learn. And, you know, if you can't do 8s to 10s yet, learning the bosses for this one is pretty easy. Of the moon bosses, I think Bamboo Legion is probably the easiest, and Songashi is probably the hardest of the moons, but I think they're all relatively easy in the category. Followed by the red sun tier. I would say this is moderate and mid-level difficulty. Golden Pig is the entry-level one you should recommend doing, or I'd recommend doing. Odaxini, there's a lot of iframe checks and movements with mechanics. I think it's fine. And then Apex, it's a lot of iframe checking, but then there's one phase where you have to do a certain number of CCs on the boss, and you know, I wouldn't say it's difficult. I have older videos of it, but it's kind of like, I don't do them anymore because 8 to 10s are just way more rewarding. But they do have Golden Pig King for 8 to 10, and so I'd probably recommend learning this one. If you can't do 8 to 10 yet, try to do 7, 6, 5, and then of the blue ones, I'd probably recommend Bamboo if you just want easy clears. And then of the green tiers, I think green is the hardest. Like, all of these bosses minus Sangoon are like very mechanically intense and or, you know, heavy on, you know, iframe checking and moving. However, Sangoon is the outlier. I think this one is very easy to do, and so that's why I have like all these cleared and something you could learn as well. Watch my videos. Gumiho, dude, this one is like, if you enjoy like 8 phase mechanics, Gumiho and Amugi are like these are the ones you do. It's very intense, but anyway, with that said, Duoxini, it was very difficult at the beginning. I don't know how it is anymore, but it's kind of like a DPS check and or mechanics check. All right, party bosses. If you don't know how to do party bosses, here's what I would recommend. There's a thing called Party and Platoon Finder. You see all these ads, you could post one yourself, just make one. Join parties that do them. They have AP, DP recommended. I know people like to put stupid high AP just because they want easy clears, but realistically, you could get this done with like 330 plus AP. Might take a little bit longer, but I mean, that's probably the entry level is 330 AP. But yeah, party bosses, what would I recommend? Ulgasil, very entry level one. There's not too many mechanics. It's more of, you know, don't get hit. So that's kind of all of them, but also like very few mechanics. Followed by Jigwi, Turi, Bongwang, Byung, Blue Clad, and Prince is probably the hardest one. So if you can only do 5 of them, which you can, I'd recommend Bulg, Jig, Uturi, and then you could do the other 2 on your tags. Or if you're doing all 5 separate, Bulg, Uturi, Jigwi, Bongwang, and then Byung. Those are the 5 I'd recommend. Anyway, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We made about 10 bill, and yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys later.